Well, welcome back. I thought it was prudent to kind of take another walk here. It's early in the morning, got the girls out for a walk, and yesterday I spent a lot of time on the excavator just carving some rough trail, and we got ourselves into a spot. You can see over here where it's really dark earth, and it starts to get wet. So I kept moving my way over, and I think if we're lucky, we might have found a spring. And it's possible, Brucey, come here, don't go in there. We might have found a spring. This could also just be runoff, but this is filled up more overnight. Girls, come here. Hey, don't go in the mud. So now this water here, I dug that out a little bit with the excavator yesterday. And if we follow it up this way, Rue, don't go in there, come here. Mommy would be pissed if we got the puppies all muddy. But if we follow our way up through the bush here, we know we have an artesian spring at the bottom of the property. But it looks like there's a spring up here too. It's very wet. Right through here as well. So it could just be rainwater, but we're sort of at the top of the hill here, and I don't know if it is. I think there's a spring in here. And when we get lots of rain, this flows. If you can see over to my left here, that's where I started to dig that out. So we might have got lucky, and we now have access to a water table that's way closer to the cabin than we ever thought it was. So I'm gonna start, I'm actually gonna call Dougie and get him up here. He's dug a bunch of ponds and stuff before. He might be able to help us identify kind of where the water's coming out of the ground here. Like, this is wet as we move further up the hill, but I feel like there's a spring here or a seep. And if we start doing more excavation, we may just end up with enough water for a pond. Hey, this is pretty wet through here. We're uphill from where I was just digging. I'm just being mindful too, the property line's pretty close to this area here. I'll find a stake here shortly. But water's moving through here. I don't know how much. I've never seen it actually run. Brucey! Good girl. But all the way up through here, like, this is all wet. So if we get digging in here, do we just hit water everywhere where it's wet? I don't know. I've never dug a pond out before. But if we move a little further this way, I'll have to go talk to the neighbor and just let her know what we're planning on doing here. But property line's right about here. There's a stake right there. So it kind of runs along this way. So we're on our side of the line where all this water is, and we may just end up bringing in bigger excavators and just start digging. This is where the wetness starts. But it's kind of hard to tell. Like, I don't know if any of you folks have, come on, Bruce. If any of you folks have ever tried to develop a water source. It's something that we don't have, right? Like, we're bringing in water from the neighbors. This is all wet all the way through here. So I wonder if this part of the hill is seeping down into this sort of little hollow. But it must be, right? And if that's the case, if all of this hill is seeping into here and we start to excavate further down, we should be able to have a pond that stays full. I don't know, it's worth a try. Our plan was to try to develop the artesian spring at the bottom of the hill that runs constant. Like, you can see it running right out of the hill, and I'll get in there at some point and show you that too. But this is way closer to the cabin. Like, this is almost 1,000 feet closer to where we spend all of our time. So maybe we just hit a water table. Maybe we just got super lucky and we just hit a friggin' jackpot, which would be amazing. Because then this up here can be our pond for, you know, swimming and goofing around. Maybe we'll put some bass in it. Not that we'd catch any, but we'd certainly try. There's gotta be, I mean, it's worth a try. Worst thing that happens is we dig and dig and dig and then the thing goes dry. But then it rains and it fills right back up again. That's possible too. So this is just for records. I'm taking this video to show that on Labor Day weekend in 2024, we found water. And like, oh fuck, the dogs went in there. Guys, get out of there. Like, it's a clay bottom. I got digging a little bit with the excavator yesterday. Here's my refuse pile. It's all clay. So is it all clay everywhere? Hey, come here. Stay out of there. Is it all clay everywhere around here? I don't know. Brucey, don't go in there. But that's filled up from where I started yesterday. And maybe we just start going this way and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And we got ourselves a pond here. I don't know, it's an exciting prospect. Come on, girls. So we'll see. It could be that we just got lucky. It could be that there's just a little bit of water there. I'm not sure, but it sure is exciting to think that we could have a pond only a couple 100 feet from the cabin rather than having to go all the way down a hill. So the little Kubota's been handy. I've been cutting all kinds of trails. The kids were riding dirt bikes and ATVs on them yesterday. That's been working awesome. As you can see, we're only just a few more feet away from the clearing, which is where the cabin is here. So maybe all of this gets wiped out. We start digging from where the edge of the pond is over this way. I'd love to have a good acre and a 20-foot deep acre, which is a lot of digging, but we don't need a dam. If it's groundwater, we can just start going down rather than over. So anyways, bright and early on the Monday of Labor Day. I believe it's September now. So just for our records, it's where we had the boys digging a hole yesterday, playing around with the excavator. It was fun to see them riding around on the new trails, doing lap after lap. And now we'll sort of just get packed up and get out of here. So we did get the blinds into the guest cabin yesterday, which is nice. I'll come back and do another set of videos about what everyone does for comfort up here when we have some guests that are inhabiting all the buildings, which will for sure be coming up in the fall here. We love the fall. It's much quieter. And that will be a savage fire. All this thrash around the edge is going on that too. Labor Day at the Bray. Cabin looks great now that it's all stained up. Puppies love it. And there you go, folks. What do you think, Bruce? Hey, Brucey. Hey, what do you think about the new pond? Think we can turn that into a pondy? Brucey's getting old. She had a couple of surgeries as a younger dog, and it aged her pretty good. But Rudy helps keep her young. Anyway, much colder today, about 10 degrees right now, which is, I don't know, 55, 50. Still beautiful. This canopy is going to start changing. Good morning from the Bray.